Yo, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Swiss Reviews. Thanks for joining me tonight. If you're joining me here today for the first time, thanks for coming through and coming with me to read Tower of God, Season 3, Chapter 72. But if you've been here before, I appreciate you for coming back always. Um, Man, I've been waiting for this chapter for a little bit. Getting back into this game here that we've got going on. Bam and the team finally getting this game underway, and maybe the last part of this war as well. Second to last part. I think there's the escape, of course, and I think there's going to be some tragedy too. But we'll get to that at a later date. But let's get into this chapter here. Oh, another warning. Okay, I guess they gotta do warning for all the bloody scenes now. Okay, this guy's in his electric wolf form. That's kind of raw. According to what I was told, you were supposedly a very rare genius, even among the 10 great families. Talking to Han Sung Yu. I guess that was just a bunch of rumors. He's fallen, but he's still got that look. What you got planned, man? Before joining Yasracha's army, Haracha didn't belong to the Lopobia family or the felines. Oh, is he one of those cast out members, maybe? He belonged to a minority known as the Rashangs. Hey, I'm back and I'm a ranker now. You're back, congratulations. The Rashangs have their own particular mark on their face. Okay, so I guess he's one of those subspecies under the Lopobia family. Perhaps because of that mark, most people viewed them with fear and suspicion. Conversely, some collectors also hunted them because they liked the mark. They had to get stronger to defend themselves and hide somewhere more isolated. Then one day, the felines invaded their remote village. So Yasraj and his gang, they really just go around and they really just collect people and try to enslave them. That's his whole gimmick, I guess. The felines began slaughtering the Rashangs with their overwhelming military superiority. Caught off guard by the surprise attack, the Rashangs were either killed or taken prisoner. Oh, these are feline-like warriors themselves, like part of the Lopobia family. I wonder if Yasracha's kind of got an elite guard of these guys, maybe around with him, somewhere hiding. That'd be kind of cool if they could pop out. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, Probably pretty formidable too. Fodder, but fodder and grunts, but maybe a little more elite. Haracha, the leader of the Rashangs and one of their few rankers, tried his best to fight off the felines. Oh, okay, so he was their leader, but he wasn't strong enough to fight them by himself. Okay, so probably just strong and Yasracha liked him. But Yasracha had been keeping an eye on him, and right on a critical moment, Yasracha stopped the battle, approached him, and made him an offer. Make you an offer you can't refuse. He said that he would stop the battle, stop killing the Rashangs, and let them run away if Haracha became a feline. At first, Haracha refused, saying it was a ridiculous offer, but Yasracha told him to look behind him. Behind Haracha were the remaining Rashangs. They trembled with fear as they looked at Haracha. Haracha couldn't forsake them. You gotta sacrifice yourself as the leader, I guess. Ultimately, Haracha accepted the felines' power from Yasracha and became one of them. Then he joined Yasracha's army and vowed to fight for them. In the army, Haracha used his outstanding talents and feline power to great effect. He achieved victory wherever he went. He sometimes felt guilty about killing other races in a similar situation to his own, but he had a reason to fight. Wow. Okay. Okay. I wonder if this is a thing with all of his commanders. Does Yasracha? Well, I honestly, he takes me as the kind of guy who just rules strictly out of fear. Um, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he was the type of leader who's just like, I'm gonna collect all these outstanding people. If I like you, if you fight for me, you can join up my army. Your people are fine. But if you don't, I'm going to use them as a bargaining chip. I'm going to use them basically to keep you on my leash. So he has no choice but to go ahead and slaughter all these people. I guess he doesn't want to. I mean, after time, people go crazy doing this sort of stuff, maybe, but he doesn't want to. I wonder if that's the case for the rest of them. I'm really curious now, because then maybe I wonder if any of them are willing, feel a little like resentment, and if they're willing to go against him. All right, let's keep going into this guy. They're really giving him a long backstory here too. I didn't expect it to be like this, or I wasn't expecting this at all. But it's kind of cool, I guess. It gives us a look into him and maybe some of the others. With each fight, Haracha's status increased, and he amassed wealth and honor that most people couldn't even dream of. But Haracha used all that wealth to rebuild the village of the Rashangs, who ran away from Yasracha. Oh, okay. Kind of noble. Haracha's huge investment helped to rebuild their village and enabled them to prosper. Advanced rankers in the army were unbelievably wealthy. Cool. Oh, we got an error with the stream? Oh, we got an error with the stream? Hmm. Okay, maybe not. Alright, we'll keep going. Alright, back to it. Alright. As a result, whenever the Rashangs needed something, they started asking Haracha for it. Oh, maybe they started asking for too much. Champion got abused. Hate to see it. At first, their requests were few and far between, but as Haracha granted their requests, everyone began asking him for more and more. They didn't train themselves or work as hard as they used to. They were no longer a persecuted but proud race. Oh, they're looking a little Roman there, actually. The Rashang's village became filled with pleasure-seeking, lazy people. Okay. So they were getting drunk with power and pleasure on his dime. They didn't do shit anymore. Whenever they needed something, they made no effort to acquire it themselves. They always turned to Haracha and asked him for it. As time went on, Haracha began to feel burdened by the Rashangs. He had to fight more battles in order to satisfy their countless demands. And as a result, he became used to being with the felines and his troops in battle. Without even realizing it, Haracha gradually became more and more feline. Okay, alright, so like I was thinking, he eventually lost his way. I wonder if he turned back on them. When he finally noticed this, his body and mind had already passed a point of no return. Haracha tried to avoid turning into a feline, but he had to keep fighting battles, and over time, there was no way of stopping the transformation. Eventually, he began eating, behaving, and sleeping like a feline. The less frequently he saw the Rashangs, the more he distanced himself from them, and long while later, an incident occurred. When Haracha began reducing contact with the Rashangs, some Rashangs felt that Haracha had betrayed them and worried that he had sided with the felines. Oh. What's wrong with y'all? Oh, weird. Ultimately, the corrupt Rashang leaders gathered and held a meeting, and one of the leaders made a rash proposal. He suggested that they tell Yasraja that Haracha betrayed the felines and had been helping the Rashangs, and ask him to get rid of Haracha in exchange for accepting the Rashang leaders as felines. What is wrong with y'all? What? This is messed up, bro. This is so messed up. What's wrong with these guys? Okay. Like, how do you think this plan's gonna work? I feel like he just get rid of you. And also, what does he have to gain from making any of you felines? Y'all lazy. You don't do anything. You're bums. Surprisingly, this absurd proposal was supported by the majority of the leaders, and the Rashangs ended up sending a representative to Yasracha. The representative revealed that Haracha had been deceiving the felines and helping the Rashangs the entire time, and asked him to accept them as felines. Yasracha had no reason to accept such a proposal, of course. He's got that smirk on his face. That long tongue of yours reeks of lies. In response to the Rashang's offer, Yasracha cut his tongue, right then and there. Having heard about the incident, Haracha quickly rushed over to Yasracha, but it was already all over. Yasracha told the flustered Haracha that he already knew about everything from the start, but turned a blind eye to it on purpose. He said that if Haracha didn't completely sever his ties with the Rashangs, Haracha himself might be in danger. Okay, so he's not entirely heartless. He was fighting for him. He was doing everything he said. I mean, I guess he didn't care what he did with his money in the meantime. But these guys interfered. You messed up the gig, man. Everything was sweet for you guys, and you wanted too much. You messed it up. Given a choice between saving himself or his race, in order to prove to Yasracha that he was a loyal feline, Haracha vowed to kill all the Rashangs himself. Oh, this man completely turned. Damn. But he was lying. Ooh, okay, never mind. I spoke too soon. That night, Haracha and a few trustworthy subordinates took some of the hostages from their previous battles, dressed them in Rashang clothes, drew the distinctive Rashang mark on their faces, and slaughtered them all. That night, the land in front of the Rashang village was covered with blood, and Haracha sent Yasracha a picture at the bloody scene, buying himself some time. Is he like howling at the moon or something? Isn't he a feline? This is really long. This is a long chapter. Oh my god. And this is just this guy's backstory. At the same time, he evacuated all of the Rashangs in his hometown to another place, and he and some of his most loyal subordinates snuck away from the feline army. Then they rejoined the Rashangs, loaded them in the floating carrier they had prepared in case something like this happened, and quickly left the area. In the floating carrier, Haracha hoped that he could forget everything that happened when the felines make a fresh start. Yo, these guys probably got caught. I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm waiting for them to get caught. He thought that they could. The way they say it, he thought that if they could settle somewhere new, he and the Rashangs would go back to their old selves. But he was wrong. There it is. Okay. This is where the problem began. A few of Haracha's loyal feline subordinates were on board the carrier. Over time, the relationship between them and the Rashangs began to deteriorate. The Rashangs didn't want to be led by them since they were felines, and they demanded that the felines gave up all their special privileges. What's wrong with these guys? Y'all are so undeserving. But there was nothing they could do about it. They needed the feline warriors both in battle and for maintaining the floating carrier. Besides, these dedicated subordinates had risked their own lives to go with Haracha. But the Rashangs, who were the majority of the carrier, strongly opposed them. And in the end, Haracha had to tell his feline subordinates to give up some of their wealth and power. Even after that, the Rashangs continued to take away the feline status and wealth bit by bit, just like they did to Haracha. Bro, what is wrong with these people? They are deserving of whatever comes to them now. The felines became more and more unhappy, and the whole system began to shake at its foundation. Haracha couldn't shake the feeling that something bad was going to happen. Everything he had been trying to avoid was now happening here all at once. The floating carrier was meant to be a way of getting away from everything and making a fresh start, but it soon began to feel so heavy that it might sink at any moment. His uneasy premonition became reality much sooner than he thought. The felines, who had continuously given away everything they had, finally couldn't take any more and rebelled, and some of the Rashangs were killed. Ooh, okay. The Rashangs used this as an excuse to demand that the felines be completely kicked out of the ship. The felines apologized, but the Rashangs refused to forgive them. In fact, maybe the death of their fellow Rashangs wasn't actually that important to them. Haracha knew the real reason why the Rashangs were so angry. It was because the felines had more than them. At some point, the Rashangs could no longer stand it. If anyone had even a little bit more than them, they developed a habit of demanding equality. But they made no effort to make things truly equal. Because Haracha had simply granted all of their impossible demands until then, the felines eventually became tired of this carrier and left the carrier, and Haracha couldn't stop them. Without them, there was no one to operate and manage such a massive carrier, but he couldn't ask them to stay there any longer when they had given up everything to follow him. But the Rashangs, unaware of the implications of their departure, held a feast to celebrate. They thought that they would finally have the status and wealth that the felines had enjoyed. How do you all think this works? Sorry, going on a tangent, but these guys are really annoying. These guys are really freaking annoying. Like, how do you think this works? You think just because they left, you can now inherit everything they have? You already took everything. What are you the lords of? You know? Nothing. You're in this Florida castle by this guy. Sorry, but these guys are annoying. Of course, not a single one of them knew how to operate the enormous floating carrier or how to fight their enemies. Of course not. A cold sweat ran down Haracha's back. Ultimately, the floating carrier will sink. Even after landing, the carrier, the Rashangs, will fail to acknowledge reality and will go extinct after they have finally taken everything from Haracha. Of course, the old Haracha might not have minded going down like his own people like that. He would have avoided using his feline power even if it killed him. Defending his race would have been his most rational goal. He would have joined them in the madness without hesitation. But not now. Over time, he began seeing his people, the Rashangs, more objectively. He found himself standing somewhere between the Rashangs and the felines, like he was caught between the two poles of a magnet. Maybe he was the one who had changed, not the Rashangs. And maybe it was his own fault, but the Rashangs had ended up like maybe it was and maybe it was his own fault the Rashangs had ended up like this. You enabled them. You did. Yasracha was right. If he doesn't choose one of them, either the felines or the Rashangs, this hell will never end. In the end, he would have to abandon one of them. And in that moment, Hiracha made up his mind. I think we know. He extended his long claws, the symbol of the felines. And in order to cut all ties between himself and the Rashangs, he turned his back on them. Oof. That's probably the scene for the warning. Now, that evening, the Rashang's floating carrier turned red like a sunset proclaiming the day's end. Hiracha then abandoned the floating carrier and returned to Yasracha's army. He would now be a feline forever, and the only thing from the Rashangs that he had left was the scar on his face. Okay, and now we're back to the present time. We got Han Sung-yu falling down from the sky. He's got that look in his eye. Watch out behind you. Before we keep going, don't tell me we spent all that backstory on this dude and he's just gonna get folded by Han Sung-yu. He said, what? Okay, what's this green behind him? Is it a Shinsu attack? What's that? He's getting engulfed. The acid is gathering in one spot. This isn't good. Oh, okay, he's moving. That bastard. How the heck did he concentrate the acid in one spot like that? With that much acid, he could actually hurt me. What's wrong? I thought you were a division commander in Jihad's army. Are you afraid of a little attack like that? Or can you not defend yourself against acid because you're too small and light? What did you just say? Oh, Han Sung-yu's getting to him. I thought maybe I couldn't block your attacks because you're so fast, but I was wrong. You can instantly reduce your body's size and weight to almost zero. That's how you dodged my attacks. And you looked so much faster because you got smaller, isn't that right? I knew there were people who can compress themselves, but I've never met someone who can make themselves as small as you. I'm surprised. What the hell are you talking about? He's going after him. Han Sung-yu's preparing an attack. They collide. No? Did Han Sung-yu miss? Yeah, he missed. And then Yasracha got him. I knew it. Something didn't make sense. If I was hit from a direct attack from a high ranker, it should have killed me instantly, yet I'm still standing. I didn't notice it before because you were so quick and there was so much light everywhere. But when you compress yourself, your attack power and defenses also get weaker, don't they? One of the tower's rules is that all abnormal abilities come with risks. Maybe you can't control Shinsu then. Ha, you seem to have figured it out, but there's nothing you can do. You can't attack me or defend against my attacks anyway. Even if you attack me with acid like just now, I can just avoid it. It may take some time, but you're going to die. Wrong. You were doomed from the moment that I figured it out, because now... Oh, what's this? I'm going to gather all the acid in this place over there. Over there? What are you up to? That Shinsu has the unique ability to pull anything towards it. Oh, is he using... Can he use, like, black hole? Is that what he's doing? Anything? It's called a black hole. And just like a black hole, it sucks in everything around it. Its only downsides are that there are a lot of restrictions in terms of its power and how big I can make it, and I can't stop it once it's been activated. Come to think of it, it's kind of like your beastification, but even with a little area like that, it's more than big enough to gather all the acid in this place and cover you with it. Brace yourself, you're going to get sucked into it soon, too. You're much lighter than the acid right now. Ooh, okay, he's getting pulled in. Damn it. He's trying to run. Oh, okay, is the light's getting sucked in? Yeah, he's done. He's done. He's getting pulled into the acid. Damn it, I have to get out of beast mode, but the acid just keeps coming. It looks like he's planning on gathering all the acid in this place. But according to the rules of the game, the acid in the cat tower has a high enough concentration to hurt even a high ranker. If he keeps surrounding me with acid like this, I won't last long. How the hell can you control Shinsu like that? I'm a man of many secrets. Stop messing around. If you gather all the acid in this place here, you'll get yourself killed too, you idiot. This is suicide. Suicide? What do you mean? I have a way out. Okay, all right. Hansung, he's getting meticulous again. What's that? Oh, the mouse. He's got the mouse. Oh, this guy's a genius. I didn't think I actually killed the mouse. You didn't think I actually killed the mouse, did you? Why would I do that? I pretended to shoot the mouse with a Shinsu cannon, but I really captured it in a Shinsu bubble. I made it as sturdy as possible, but I was afraid it might melt soon because of the acid. But thankfully, you fell into my trap sooner than I expected. You son of a bitch. You were messing with me the whole time. Yeah, he was. He got you, man. Of course, I've always been a con artist. You called me a hypocrite, right? You were right. But I'm not a hypocrite because I pretend to be nice. I just really want to tear down this world that Jihad has created. I wasn't helping the weak. I wanted to encourage those who dislike Jihad to draw their swords and fight him. Even I've never taken pity on people who were weak or who have no will to fight like you said, nor have I ever helped anyone unconditionally. I help those who may be useful to me, but I'm more than willing to abandon or turn my back on those who are of no use to me. Yeah, he's cutthroat like that. You know nothing about me, but about who I am, why I want to defeat Jihad. I'm curious a little bit too more about him, or even where it all began. You should have gotten his backstory instead of this guy. What the hell? You bastard, who are you? I guess you could say I'm the only person who wants to destroy the leader of the 10 great families for turning his back on morality and choosing lawlessness. What are you talking about? Hey, well, so long. Wait, okay, Hansung, you teleports and the acid comes down. He said, ha, that little jerk. Damn it, he really got me good. Give it to me. We want your body. We don't have a body. What? Give it to us. Your body, your arms. You guys again, your legs. Aren't you tired? Oh my god. Is he getting the ghosts of his people? Are they like taking his body now? Aren't you tired of this? We want it. How much more do you want from me until you'll be satisfied? Damn it. Oh, and they're pulling him in. I'm so sick of you people. If you really want everything I have, why don't you take this disgusting tattoo first? Oh, and he got consumed. No. We already have one of those. Oh, shit. End of round. Okay, now we're back to Bam. Oh, he finally beat those things. Participant Bam won the battle within the time limit. I didn't think he'd be able to beat their leader in 10 minutes. Maybe I underestimated him. He's definitely stronger than a ranker. Okay. So how's Bam doing? Because he had to kill these guys. How does he feel right now? Participant Bam may continue moving on to the next turn. I won, but I don't feel good about it. They were just fighting for their own freedom. Why would Yasracha make us fight like this? You may now leave the battlefield. Okay. So don't rush me. Okay. Now where is it going? Don't show any weakness. My master is waiting. I've come this far, no matter what sacrifices I have to make. I won't give up till the very end. I'm surprised the regular managed to clear all the monsters in one turn, but there are still many monsters and obstacles ahead. I wonder how long the regular will last. Bam's got pretty good stamina. And if he chooses the jumping route to the end of the game sooner, he might be shooting himself in the foot. See, ever since they mentioned that, I feel like Bam's going to go ahead and do that. Because it's kind of it's too obvious. It's too obvious. Like, come on, you can't just throw that out there and not expect it to happen. But I'm curious just to know what's in it. Honestly, he might be shooting himself in the foot because if he goes that route, he'll have to face a monster that even Lord Yasracha gave up trying to control. Ooh. Okay, so Bam's gonna go there. Now I wonder what's in there. Alright, we're going back to Hasracha. Or Haracha, sorry. Lord Haracha, why don't you just stop now? Oh, this is flash. Okay, I think he's dead, but his life is flashing. Why don't you just stop now? We're worried you might hurt yourself. You're always fighting in battles for our sake. Yeah, we have plenty now. We don't want to see you wear yourself out working with the felines anymore. What do you want? What do you mean? There are a lot of races in the tower, much stronger and wealthier than us, not just the felines. We Rashangs need way more money and power if we're going to be independent. I'm going to keep doing whatever I can to make the Rashangs stronger. You should want more for yourselves. Let me know if there's anything you need. If you want money or food or anything at all, I'll fight to get it for you. I'm going to make our race so wealthy and powerful that no one will ever look down on us again. Even if it takes centuries and millennia, I'll give everything I have to the Rashangs. You can have it all. Everything. Oh. Huh. Okay, chapter's almost over. I'll get back to this in a second. Okay. Why did I help such a weak, unambitious people? Because I loved them so much. Because I loved my people. To be continued. Okay. Alright, and that's the chapter. That is the chapter. Okay. So just to go back real quick on that last part. Has the guy been has he been lying kind of? Cuz the way that flashback makes it sound, he's been enabling them, of course, you know, making them want to be like this, or was it in his head that the whole time that they were taking too much, but he didn't feel like it was ever enough. I wonder if that might be the case. I wonder because it doesn't make too much sense with what his flashback just has said now and what he's been saying the whole time about his people. So I wonder if that was sort of in his head the whole time that they were taking too much. Maybe he just got tired of it too much, you know. But he said he was going to do it. Who knows? Who knows? But anyways, it doesn't matter now. He's dead. Honestly, I'm surprised this chapter was so long and spent so much time on his backstory. I'm kind of I don't like, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I kind of thought that was a waste of a lot of time. Honestly, I much rather wish they would have finally, you know, given us a little bit more of a Han Sung Yu, especially since they were talking about it there at the end. That would have been a lot more fruitful and I think a lot better going forward. because now that he's sort of mentioned that, and like his a little bit more of like how strong his resolve is on fighting jihad in the Ten Great Families, I kind of want to know more about where it all began for him, and what his reasoning is. Also, I want to know where he's from. If that's been revealed already, please someone let me know, and let me know down in the comments, because I really want to know if that's been revealed or not. But that's all I got. It's getting late here. That's gonna be it for me today, guys. Thanks for joining me on this chapter. I will see you guys for the next week's episode. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, or dislike if you really feel like it. But thanks for joining me tonight, and keep an eye out for a Bad Batch coming out, I think tomorrow morning. So I'll see you guys next week for the next one. Bye.